Am I the a-hole for giving money set aside for my son to his daughter's mother? My husband and I are fortunate that we were able to not just put our children through college, but also put money aside for their future weddings. As our sons got older, one of them, Frank, told us that he didn't plan on getting married. My husband and I talked about it and decided that when the time came, we would give him money towards the down payment on his first home. We also told our other son that this was an option as well, and he could use the money for either. From ages 20 to 23, Frank dated Nadine. They were pretty serious, and according to Frank, he planned to be with her long term. She was very close with our family and even vacationed with us. Then, one day, out of nowhere, he announced that they broke up. He didn't want to talk about why and refused to talk about her, period. We weren't sure what was going on, but supported him. Then, a few months later, Nadine reached out to me. She asked if I had Frank's new phone number. I was hesitant to give it to her, as I wasn't sure if he'd want her to have it. That's when she told me that she had recently given birth to Frank's child and couldn't get into contact with him, but she really needed his help. I didn't give her his number, but said I would talk to him and get his consent. When I told Frank the news, he wasn't surprised. He said he knew about the baby. I asked if he knew if it was his. Did Nadine cheat or something and that's why they broke up? He said no. He knew the baby was his. Nadine isn't the type to cheat. He said that he just doesn't want to be a father. I asked if he thought she baby trapped him. Not because I thought she did, but just trying to find any reason for this attitude. He said no, he believes it was a true accident, but he didn't want a baby. I was in shock. My husband and I didn't raise either of our boys to be this way. I said even if he doesn't want to physically be present, he still owes child support. He claims that no, he's not going to pay and Nadine is too poor to get a lawyer. I told him I was disappointed in him and that he needed to get his act together and be responsible. He was very nonchalant when refusing. I truly didn't recognize the son in front of me. I ended up meeting with Nadine privately. She looked exhausted. She told me that she had been laid off right before finding out she was pregnant and was struggling to find work. She had depleted her savings. On top of it, she was exhausted from caring for the baby. I held the baby and fell in love instantly. I knew we had to help Nadine and my granddaughter. I spoke with some friends and helped Nadine get a job. My husband and I discussed it and decided we would use Frank's wedding/down payment fund on getting a good lawyer for her. One of the first things done was getting a DNA test which proved that yes, the baby is Frank's. And with the lawyer, Nadine was able to get child support out of Frank. At the time, Frank didn't know where the money for the lawyer came from. Nadine asked us not to tell him for the time being, and we agreed. This was all a year ago. My husband and I are very active in Nadine and the baby's lives. Nadine is doing much better. She has a new apartment, and the child support has helped her immensely. Frank has barely spoken to us in the time since. He calls us traitors for even wanting to be around Nadine and the baby. He also blamed us for her suing him for child support. We've told him that we are very disappointed in him trying to skip out on his responsibilities and making it so the mother of his child couldn't support their baby. Frank recently came to us and announced he's finally ready to buy his first home. He said he has some money saved up, so combined with what we've put away, he feels he can buy a nice house. We told him that the money isn't there anymore and finally explained why. He became furious. He told us that we had chosen Nadine and the baby over him. We said no, we chose the baby's well-being over him. He has now cut us off completely and says that we have chosen this new family over him. Our other son was supportive of us being in the baby's life, but says we were wrong for giving up the money Frank always counted on the baby. While we were once confident in our choice, we now wonder if we went too far. Were we wrong?